Hello there, my name is Claus, and I'm doing 100 innovation keynotes in 100 days. Today's number 55. Today, I'm going to give you 10 reasons to love Meow Wolf. And if you don't know what that is, don't worry, we'll get to that. Because the first question is, what is Meow Wolf? Well, here's a video that explains it, a little bit at least.
Welcome to Meow Wolf. Bienvenidos. It's nice to have you.
I've never seen anything like this before, ever.
Maybe in dreams.
Maybe if I were the original Alice in Wonderland and fell through the rabbit hole, maybe that would be something like this.
It's like a million different dimensions in one building.
Is like a Salvador Dali painting.
Like a really trippy video game in real life.
Every quarter I'm surprised.
I don't think I've ever had an experience like this in all my time.
There's just so many things and so many different things to look at, to touch, to just take in.
It's interactive, it's a story.
Like I really want to, at this point, dig into the story because there's something else going on there.
And there's like a whole mystery pocket dimensions thing.
Murder mystery meets art installation. This kid's face just keeps popping up everywhere and he's scaring me.
And it's really like a big mystery that you have to like put together these cool clues.
There are different levels of experience depending on your degree of consciousness.
This is like an incredibly unique place.
There's no words.
Oh, I can't describe it. It's so cool. I don't think you could compare it to anything. I think it's way cooler than anything I've seen.
It's colorful, it's playful, it's for kids, it's for adults, it's for everyone.
I don't really know how to explain it. You have to come here to yourself.
This is like the most amazing place I've ever been.
I'm so happy that I came and so blessed that like I'm able to see all this stuff and put all this stuff into my mind and everything.
If you want to energize yourself, if you want to become more creative, it's like sticking your finger in an electrical socket and becoming alive.
You have to go see it in person. Whatever I say is not going to do it any sort of justice. I can show you pictures, I can show you video. That's nothing like being the experience of actually being there. Just, you got to come check it out.
That is Meow Wolf's The House of Eternal Return. A pretty nifty title, because not only can you come back to it again and again as kind of a customer, as a guest, but there's also something that alludes to the story. I like it on several levels. I was there in 2017 as part of a 4,000-kilometer road trip along Route 66 with a fake rock band. Now that's another story, so we'll not get into that, but it means I've been there firsthand. Getting back to Meow Wolf, leaving the rock band aside for a moment. Santa Fe, New Mexico. Here you can see it on a map of the United States, so you get a feeling where it is. This is not anywhere close to a big city. I can't remember how big Santa Fe is, but if I remember rough numbers, it's less than 100,000 people. And yet it is, again, if I get my facts slightly wrong, forgive me, the third biggest art scene in the U.S. It's crazy. This is artist paradise. And what we're talking about, Meow Wolf was then, back 2017 and before, a artist collective with more than 100 members, taking an old bowling alley and turning into this amazing space. George R.R. Martin was involved, and yes, we're talking Game of Thrones George R.R. Martin. That George R.R. Martin was one of their early investors. And what they created is this huge immersive art installation that you've just seen some reactions to and that you've just seen the video of. Now, they had, at last count that I'm aware of, about 500,000 visitors per year. So it's not just a very successful art installation. It's also a very successful business. That was Meow Wolf then. And the reason it says was is because now they've taken it a step further. This is Meow Wolf's latest big adventure. what Meow Wolf does, what they've done at the House of Eternal Return, what they do at Omega Mart, which is recently opened, is nothing less than amazing. Yet, and here you think I'm going to come with some sort of criticism. I'm not. Quite the opposite. One of the things that really amazes me at the whole Meow Wolf phenomenon is that anyone with money and daring could have done what they did. Anyone with money and daring can copy their concept, at least if they're brave enough. And when I say copy their concept, I'm going to give you the Meow Wolf formula, according to me. They may look at it completely differently. They may have a completely different process. Even though I know a few of the people from there, I can't speak to this. But this is, as an outsider, if I had resources and a backer and wanted to reproduce this or something of their magic, this is how I do it. First off, you need a space. You don't need to start with the space necessarily, but you need a space. Whether it's an old retail space, of which there are many, and many of them are available, or it's an old warehouse, something like that. The first one they did an old bowling alley. Their space in Las Vegas, I don't know if it's an old supermarket or they just dress it up to be like a supermarket, but any sort of big space can work. Second, you need artists. You could do this with a single artist creating the whole thing and everything in it. Yes, that might work, but the real strength is having a multitude of artists. More than 100 artists were involved in the House of Eternal Return. I don't know about Omega Mart, but artists. Have artists come in with their ideas, their plans, their artwork, and these artworks can be pretty wild. We're not talking about a small painting or a little bit of clay that's sculpted to be somebody's emotion. We're talking about big, crazy pieces. Visceral, emotional, hard-hitting, surreal. I've played music on the inside of a mammoth's bones. That was pretty wild. Then you need to tie all those art pieces, those individual art pieces, the individual rooms, if you want to think of it that way, or kind of spaces, experiences. You tie them together with a story. In the House of Eternal Return, there's a story about a family that lives in a house. And from that house, it branches off into all sorts of dimensions. Omega Mart? I don't know. Looking forward to finding out. But you need a story that connects it all. And this is tricky, but doable. Then you need to craft that into an experience, or at least a number of experiences and the tie-in experiences that go with them. Think of it like a theme park where you're walking around. There's not just the roller coasters, the carousels, the snack bars. There's also the pathways. There's also the small bridges. There's the places that get you from A to B. The places that get you from places, so to speak. Then you need to produce the thing. And this is tricky because the ambition level here, that is something else. We're talking about big scale production of insanely cool pieces of art with the accompanying logistics, with the accompanying support structures. I mean, they need bathrooms and a check-in counter, right? Even if they're selling dreams and surreality. So it needs to be produced. And that takes time and money. Then you need to promote it. You need to have people find out it's here. Luckily, Meow Wolf is now out of the gate. So when they say we're Meow Wolf, we're opening, a lot of people get excited. There are a lot of fans because once you've stumbled across this, you're not going to forget it. But if you or somebody else going out and doing this, you need to promote it, and you need to promote it heavily because it's different. You can't just say it's a new movie in the theater. This is something completely new. And then, of course, you need to refine it. Of course. Once something hits guests or visitors, you find out, oh, maybe we should do that pathway differently, or that didn't work as well, or oh, that broke, or that wasn't supposed to survive, but it actually did. Of course, you have that sort of thing. And then you, of course, need to make sure you are aligned with your crew. Because if you're doing something and you're a huge artist collective, it doesn't do to get the artist in, then rip them off, give them a little bit of money and send them on their way and hope that they don't notice what you do with it. There's enough Hollywood films where the director or the editor or somebody kind of in the technical staff was replaced halfway and they went out with bad feelings about it. This is not that sort of thing. Yes, creative disagreements are a thing, but in general, trying to keep the group aligned, I think, is a pretty smart part of this sort of process. Then comes the amazement, because once you open this, and again, I've seen their original, I haven't seen Omega Mart, but I'm sure it's even cooler. And I'm sure the next thing they do will be even more brilliant. So you have these artists, you have the story wrapping up, you have a cohesive experience, or at least set of experiences with bridges between them. And then be prepared for the amazement of people, because this is wow. This is wow on a scale that few people have experienced. And you could hear it from the comments. You saw it. You saw these people like, you have to do this. And finally, because it's actually a pretty sweet business model, there's profit. Meow Wolf has been making money. They've been paying people. They've been having a solid staff, and they've been expanding. This is not just a good piece of art, a good piece of communication, a good piece of dream. This is good business, and it can be for somebody else as well. The first Meow Wolf installation in Santa Fe, roughly 500,000 visitors per year. Disneyland has, 15, 20 million or so. The original Disneyland in Anaheim. Last statistic I saw was 16.7 million. This is big, but those are so much bigger, and it could be. There's no reason that the next Disneyland couldn't be modeled after the Meow Wolf way of doing things. Profitable? Pretty sure it would be. So in theory, anyone can copy that formula. Of course, not everyone can do it as well. I'm not suggesting this is easy. Hell no. These people had daring, guts, vision, and grit, and all these sorts of things that got them there. But copying is much easier than creating. And being inspired by means that you're looking at somebody who's gone there before. If Disney, Universal, or the Museum of Modern Art had decided to do this, they could have done that. They had deeper pockets. They had more experienced people on almost every single level of the thing. They could have brought in artists. They could have done the whole thing. But they didn't. Meow Wolf did. That's just 2 reasons you should care about Meow Wolf. I'm going to give you 8 more, a total of 10 here. And I know there are more, but let's just stop it at 10. Reason number 1, they're expanding our definition of art. For so many people who come to one of their experiences, they're like, oh, I thought art was boring. I thought art was stuffy. I thought art was like this or like that. I didn't know art could be like this. I've seen that happen live. They're also expanding our definition of business, because the same way that people are saying, is this art? How amazing. There are people who are saying, can this be a business? How amazing. And I love both of those factors, especially the combination. They've shown it can be done. This is not a theoretical exercise. This is not a business plan. This is proven reality. And there's something, I'm not going to call it transcendent, but something almost universal about what they're doing. Could this have succeeded in Singapore or in Laos, in Sao Paulo? Pretty sure it could. Yes, with twists. Yes, with changes. But could it have succeeded? Yes, it could. And others can follow that blueprint. Now, I know they haven't yet published the Meow Wolf formula, or if they have, I'm not aware of it. But they might. And others can go to them. And if I was one of these others, if I was the Museum of Modern Art, if I was the Guggenheim, if I was Disney, I'd give them a call and say, hey, Meow Wolfers, we want to learn from you. When do you have time to teach us? And, impressively, they did it while remaining authentic. Sure, things happen when you go from being some out-of-work art buddies who are struggling to kind of get recognized to being a huge, not huge, but a big, successful, growing company with reputations and stake and organizational diagrams, all that sort of thing. Yes, that happens, but they're still authentic. They're still very much Meow Wolf, as they were when they started this journey. And number 6, they lift others up and empower them. I've seen this. They bring in people. They support communities with money, with attention, with recognition. And this is amazing, because it means that while their journey is chronicled well, it means you can go and find out things about them. There are plenty of documentaries, there are plenty of articles and small videos. So if you want to chronicle their journey, or if you want to follow their journey, it is already chronicled well. Sorry for the mix-up. Not everybody's like that. But because they're now one of the serious players, they're now one of the groups that you take into account when you're talking about where art is going, where entertainment is going. It means that they both lead the way and break the ice. And what I mean by that is that sometimes some individual, some group, some company, some organization can lead the way, can show a thing can be done, and then they close the door behind them. Or the door is closed behind them. There are many examples of this. Somebody breaking through, but nobody else breaks through after them because it was individual. Here, Meow Wolf are doing that, and they're doing that with bravura, but they're also breaking the ice. They function as this huge nuclear-powered icebreaker, just plowing through the ice flows of conservatism in art and entertainment. And the rest of us who want to can kind of follow in their wake. 10, and I know this is not a big thing, but it's something that counts for me. I don't know a lot of the Meow Wolf people. I know some of them, as said. I know some of the senior ones. I know some at junior levels. The ones I know are bloody nice people. Even though they're doing something amazing, even though they could be arrogant to the hilt, without me at least blaming them, because what they do is so cool. They're not. They're amazing human beings, the ones I know. So when you can, support these dreamers, because they're making a dent in the world that's going to be felt. And when it looks to innovation, these are people to watch. This is an organization to watch. Its spin-offs, its copycats will be worth watching just for the fact that they're going this route. Yeah, I think that says it all.